Look what the cat drug in this morning. You reckon that thing's gonna start?
It started on.
Did it really? All right, we got the mast bolted back up. It was borderline hot or high there, so put the pins back in that. He's got to raise the bucket up like so, and then tilt the trailer down and get the pickup truck off. We'll let this down. So if you remember this one, I actually ran this one several years ago up there at Garrett's place. He's holding it down to keep it from spinning. So we got the winch line hooked to it. Slick pads on a slick deck. It's for safety. I got some diesel fuel we can put in it. To the dirt pile we go, slow and steady. Yeah, you can shut it off and just kind of start switches up there.
Yeah, so it's hard to see.
Yeah,
on and off. Flip it on and then hit.
Now it won't start.
Sold you a lemon.
So that's why you wanted to sell it.
Yeah, it's on its way out.
Oh, okay. It'd be best to go ahead and pawn it now.
You were dumb enough to buy it.
Yeah.
So here we are. You know, obviously the
Cosmetic.
nice gauge.
The fuel gauge does work right. Can you move the needle to full? It'll make me feel better.
No, I sold it to you the full thing.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, of course. I wouldn't sell it.
Premium non-ethanol, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, nothing but non-ethanol gas, because, you know, put some VP racing.
Exactly.
For you. Can't you smell it?
All right, so what do we got right here?
I don't know.
Levers.
I'm not really sure. Good question. I don't know what to do. You know? So over here on the right, we'll start right to left. So this is for the boom hoist if you had a crane in it.
Okay.
Or if you had a shovel. So this,
raise that up, so you don't use that.
to the best of my knowledge, has never been used. If you look at the drum lagging on that,
Yeah.
it doesn't even ever look like there's ever been any rope on it.
Yeah.
And obviously, it doesn't move. So, and
We can disregard that one.
yeah, so I actually know who all three owners were, myself included. And it came from Syracuse, ended up in Binghamton, and I found it in 2014. And then,
Because I mean, there's videos several years ago where I was running it.
yeah.
I don't know if you had restored it yet or not.
So I had painted
Painted
it.
it.
Had the glass.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we were waiting on. I tried to put.
We didn't have gas in it either.
You didn't have gas in it. I had gas in it when I brought it down. You didn't have gas in it. But anyways, you know, that's you know.
It's water under the bridge there.
Yeah,
You know,
that was completely not my fault.
not your fault. All right. What is that?
I'm
Swing?
not sure. I think that's to put in gear, maybe? Transmission? I don't know. I think that's how we drive it. I'm not sure. Yes, no, I'm pretty sure.
Which one was the swing brake? That
That's
is the
the
swing
swing
brake.
brake,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I thought.
And you pull it back, and then you
So that's engaged. That's engaged right there.
Yeah, back is engaged. It's got a pawl down at the bottom. You
Okay.
push that, and you watch the little linkage, and
Yeah.
it frees up. And we shove it forward, and the swing breaks off.
All right.
There's that. This is travel.
Okay. So that's opposite of the shovels and everything, because it would be on this
it's over
side.
here on
Yeah.
this side, yep. Now, mind you, you know, it's all directly related to the undercarriage
Yeah.
house orientation. But when you shove it forward,
It should go forward.
Forward.
Yeah.
And your finals are behind you. In this case, the sprockets. Neutral, it's got a detent, and then you pull it back, and it goes into reverse. And it's
So, but you said this one you can swing and
yes, it says independent swing and hold.
okay,
Yep.
track at the same time.
Yep, you can do that. No, you know.
So it's best always to put the swing obviously in neutral and set the brake so
Yeah,
that you're not
because-
spinning around.
You know, depending on your boom orientation or the cross slope or main fall of the road you travel on or whatever, you know, the front end or the back end could be heavier.
Yeah,
overtake
it's going to
one
spin around for
another.
sure. Well, the dragline was doing that with no swing lock. You take
Yeah.
off and it end up to boom in the woods there.
Yeah, it's all right.
It happens quick, especially when you can't swing and track at the same time. There's no
Yeah.
stopping it.
Yeah.
Trying to get it, you know, out of gear there, but
Just trimming some tree
it's just
branches, that's
it's
all.
just cosmetic
It
stuff.
is. It's far from hard.
Yeah.
This one here, let me think about this. It runs, so it's funny because they're opposite of each other. If you look through this hole right here where I stuck my hand,
Yeah.
so this one runs the left side.
Okay.
So this runs that top rope.
Yep.
So that is technically our boom hoist. So when we engage this lever and we keep this left brake shoved in and let off on the right one, that will pick the boom up.
Okay.
Now, if we were to pull on this lever and let off both brakes or feather this brake out, is that cable retracts, it pulls that top shiv.
Yep.
And because you have a hinge point kind of in the middle, and it can go either way, as you pull on this, this wants to boom up, which is drawing this cable in. If you let this break off, it lets that bottom rope out.
Sticks out.
And allows that stick to go out, and it won't rise.
Yeah.
You know, because it's got
It's
somewhere
just pulling it out, yeah.
For that power to. So the right side runs the left drum wagon. The left side runs the right drum wagon, which is this rope right down here that runs the dipper or the bucket. It'd be your in-haul rope on a drag line. Shit like that.
And your left one is your swing.
Here's our swing. So when we push it forward, we swing to the left. We pull it back towards us, we swing to the right. And basically with any crane, any old mechanical machine like this, typically whatever way you push it, that's the way the cab's going to go. So if you had a machine with a cab on the left side, when you would push that lever, you would push that cab to the right.
Interesting.
And when you pull it, you pull the cab
back to you.
And that was always kind of the way they taught me when I was younger, like running
to know which way you're
cranes.
going.
You know, some of the link belt cranes, cab was on the left, and then once you got into like the High Lab series of cranes, the cab was on the right. So it was kind of, it wasn't difficult, but you had to remember.
Yeah.
It was just kind of important to swing the way you should swing.
You kind of need to.
You know, I mean,
what's the, that one?
That one's the throttle.
Okay.
Pull it back, she'll go faster. You shove it forward, she goes slower.
Steering.
Choke. So these down here.
Yep.
So you pull the, there's,
I might have to stand behind you there to see.
All right.
There we go.
So all the way forward.
Okay.
Is engaged.
Okay.
Okay. There's kind of like a detent for neutral.
Yep.
And then you have to pull on it
so when you
engage the brake.
Okay. So when we're digging, we need to pull it backwards?
No,
or
you leave it alone. There's digging locks.
Okay.
They don't work on this.
Okay.
We just pile dirt up in front of the tracks
and
don't
just
pull
roll
ourselves
it.
Into the hole.
But so you don't have to do. See, I'm so used to the drag line and everything. You got all these different things to go from swing to there.
The Bantams are really simple.
So all you got to do just to travel is to knock that lever forward and then move those.
Make sure they're both forward if you want both tracks to travel. And then when you want to turn, like if you wanted to turn to the left and you was going forward and your sprockets were behind you, you could either
pull it or push
into neutral and just take it out of gear. And kind of if it's flat enough. Now if you're going downhill, when you put that side neutral, it may go ahead of you. Just like an old, like a dozer.
All right, so here's my next question. Is there like any brakes, like if you are kind of?
They're technically, they're called a digging dog.
Yeah.
And there's 3 positions. There's one for shoveling, there's one for backhoeing, and then there's one where it's not engaged at all. And they're down here.
Yeah.
It's this.
Yeah, I see that. What does this right here do?
That's the high-low speed for your travel, your transmission gear.
I got you.
Because it's a 2-speed transmission.
Yeah. Did you have it in low or high?
Up isn't high.
Okay.
Yeah, she sets the world on fire. Like, super fast. These right here are your mechanical hoist pawls.
Yeah.
So if you look, you probably not see them, but if you look through that hole right there, you know that drum's got notches on the top side of it, all the way around it? This drum has the same thing on the outside of its legging too. When you engage these two, that creates a mechanical lock on the drum, so that even if the brakes are soft, if they're out of adjustment or anything like that, if you're running the crane, you got to hold a load.
Something will hold it.
That's a mechanical lock.
So those stay out.
Yeah, you don't want to dig with those. And if you're ever, so say you had those engaged and somebody was digging and they pulled the levers in, realize it, you have to take the pressure off it
to get those released.
To get those pawls, because they're like a cam almost, and they wedge themselves in. And the only way to get them to unlock is to take the tension off.
To take that off.
So,
what is this?
I don't know.
Doesn't do anything?
I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know what that does.
You just pull things till we figure out.
Well, you pull it. Let me know how you make it. Pull on that.
It wouldn't move. I've already tried.
It's not gonna move. Yeah.
I'm gonna say we don't use that or the other one here very often. So this one.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's for like I said. If you ever want to hang a shovel off it or put a
good to go.
on it, you know.
But these pedals right here to lock down, you just click them down, correct?
Yeah, so if you...
Because on the drag line, you got to push them down and then pull a lever up to lock them.
So these, if it's... You can see it.
Yeah.
Can you see the bottom of it? See how it's got them little latches?
Yep.
So all they do, when you shove it down, if you roll your toes forward and take the pressure off your heel...
That's what locks it in.
Oh,
okay.
In. But sometimes I run the brakes real loose because it's just a lot easier. I'm not picking with a crane.
Yeah.
Digging.
You're just digging.
We don't need a heavy brake. So sometimes they'll drift a little bit, so just gotta be mindful.
You gotta get, yeah.
You know.
You can overload
it's
it.
Set up for performance.
Yeah. Performance.
It is. And then if you ever, you always want to wear gloves when you do this, but if the cable, for some reason, if you ever dump a bunch of extra rope off of there, go out, pull the slack out, and then you can take this. What this hole is for is
to kind of wind it back on there.
And you could take a gloved hand.
Yeah.
Be real careful. Watch out for burrs and stuff. But you can keep just a slight bit of tension on that as you bring that rope back on that drum. You know.
That way
they would use it. The old guys would tell me, like, when they were picking with cranes, because they didn't have a feeler indicator.
Yeah.
They would stick their hand out
and just kind of feel.
and put their hand on the rope, and they could feel, you know, the cable coming off the drum as they wanted to give somebody like a half an inch or something.
Dang.
Yeah. But, you know, it's amazing how well thought out they really are.
Yeah. And what year do you know what year this thing?
65.
It's a 65.
Yeah, so the serial number tag's right there.
Yeah, I saw. I was looking at that.
And the truck mount that I have is, it's within 200 or 300.
Oh, cool.
So they're both 65s. And this is where you can put your manuals and paperwork. You know, this obviously, this is how we control our heat and our air
ventilation. It's got a little gas motor in it.
Yep, 6-cylinder Continental.
Yeah, let's look over that real quick. All right, I got the run through on it. It's been a few years since I've used it, so he's gonna walk it up here on the pile of dirt, and we'll dig a little bit with it. Swing brake locked. I think he said it's a 1965 model. Gonna level a little spot up there. Keep it from rolling down the hill. Well, that was fun. Started getting the hang of it. So it's completely backwards from the drag line and the shovel as far as you pull the controls to you versus pushing them away. So it's a little different to get used to, but all in all, it's a pretty good little cable hoe here. I like it. He's done a good job, you know, repainting everything on it for what it's worth. It ran out of gas there. To start with, we had to go get 5 gallons, but yeah, pretty cool little toy. Add it to the collection here. Really would like to find somebody that does like mobile sandblasting and painting. Sandblast that down and paint it. It would definitely look nicer. All right, well, Paul's here and he's got the Landau. I need the 953 over there at the Beely Good Job, so we're gonna load it up and haul it over there. That way, I got something to work with.